The Honorable Edward Kamau Brathwaite, May 1930 to 4th February 2020, was a Barbadian poet and academic, widely considered one of the major voices in the Caribbean literary canon. Formerly a professor of comparative literature at New York University, was the 2006 international winner of the Griffin Poetry Prize for his volume of poetry Born to Slow Horses. Brathwaite held a PhD at the University of Sussex 1968 and was the co-founder of the Caribbean Artists Movement, CAM. He received both the Guggenheim and Fulbright Fellowship in 1983 and was a winner of the 1994 New Start International Prize for Literature, the Busa Award, the Casa de las Americas Prize for Poetry, and the 1999 Charity Randall Citation for Performance and Written Poetry from the International Poetry Forum. Brathwaite was noted for his studies of black cultural life both in Africa and throughout the African diasporas of the world in works such as Folk Culture of the Slaves in Jamaica 1970, the development of Creole Society in Jamaica 1770 to 1820, Contradictory Omens 1974, Afternoon of the Status Quo 1982, and History of the Voice 1984, the publication which established him as the authority of note on nation language, early life and education. Lawson Edward Brathwaite was born in the capital of Bridgetown, Barbados, to Hilton and Beryl Brathwaite. He began his secondary education in 1945 at Harrison College in Bridgetown, and while there wrote essays on jazz of a school newspaper that he had started, as well as contributing articles to the literary magazine. In 1949, he won the Barbados Island Scholarship to attend the University of Cambridge, where he studied English and history. In 1953, Brathwaite received a BA Honours degree in history from Pembroke College, Cambridge, and he also began his association with BBC's Caribbean Voices program in London, where many of his poems and stories were broadcast. In 1954, he received a Diploma of Education from Pembroke College, Cambridge. The years in Ghana. The year 1955 found Kamau as an education officer in the Gold Coast with the Ministry of Education. This saw him witness Kwame Nkrumah's coming to power and Ghana becoming the first African state to gain independence, which profoundly affected his sense of Caribbean culture and identity. And he was also able to study with the musicologist J.H. Kwabena Nketia. In 1960, while he was on home leave from Ghana, Brathwaite married Doris Monica Welcome, a Guyanese graduate in home economics and tropical nutrition from the University of Leicester, with whom he had a son, Michael. During his years in Ghana, Brathwaite's writing flowered, with Odale's Choice, a play premiered at the Mfantisiman Secondary School in Cape Coast. In June 1962, a full production of the play was taken. Return to the Caribbean and the UK. In 1962 to 1963, Brathwaite crossed the waters again and found himself as a resident tutor in the Department of Extramural Studies in St. Lucia. Later, in 1963, he made his journey to the University of West Indies, UWI, Mona campus in Kingston, Jamaica, to teach in the history department. In 1966, Brathwaite spearheaded as co-founder and secretary the Organization of the Caribbean Artists Movement, CAM, from London. Other key figures including John LaRose and Andrew Salki. In 1971, he launched Savaku, a journal of CAM, that is Caribbean Artists Movement, at the University of West Indies, Mona campus in Kingston, Jamaica. That same year, Brathwaite received the name Kamau from Ngugi wa Thiong'o's grandmother in Limuru, at Limuru, Kenya, while on a City of Nairobi fellowship to the University of Nairobi. His doctoral thesis, Sussex University, on the development of Creole society in Jamaica, was published in 1971 by Oxford University Press. And in 1973, he published what is generally considered his best work, The Arrivants, a New World trilogy comprising 3 earlier volumes: Rites of Passage, 1967, Masks, 1968, and Island, an exhaustive bibliography of EKB. His published prose and poetry, 1948 to 1986, was produced by his wife Doris Monica Brathwaite in 1986. In response to her death later that year, Brathwaite wrote the Zia Mexican Diary, September 1926 to 7th September 1986. Brathwaite described the years from 1986 to 1990 as time of salt, in quotes, in which he chronicled the death of his wife in 1986, the destruction of the archive in Irish Town, Jamaica by Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, and his near-death experience as a result of a Kingston shooting in 1990. Maroon years and afterwards. Kamau Brathwaite spent 3 self-financed maroon years, 1997 to 2000, at Cow Pasture, his now famous and then posthumous home in Barbados. In 1998, he married Beverly Reid, a Jamaican. In 1992, Brathwaite took up the position of Professor of Comparative Literature at New York University, subsequently dividing his residence between Barbados and Jamaica. In 1994, Brathwaite was awarded the New Start International Prize for Literature for his body of work, nominated by Ghanaian poet and author Kofi Awonul, edging out other nominees including Toni Morrison, Norman Mailer, and Chinua Achebe. In 2002, University of Sussex presented Kamau Brathwaite with a honorary doctorate. In 2004, after his retirement from New York University, Brathwaite began chronicling a second time of salt, musing on what he deemed cultural lynching, in quotes. In 2006, he was the sole person that year to be awarded a Musgrave Gold Medal by the Institute of Jamaica, with 8 silver and bronze medals going to other recipients. In 2010, Brathwaite reported the theft of his medal as well as other items from his New York City home in the previous 4 years. Kamau Brathwaite was a professor emeritus of comparative literature at New York University and resided in Cow Pasture, Barbados. He died aged 89 on 4th February 2020 and was accorded an official funeral on 21st February. Posthumous recognition and legacy. Shortly before his death, Kamau Brathwaite was offered and had accepted the Bocas Henry Swansea Award for distinguished service to Caribbean letters, presented annually at the NGC Bocas Lit Festival, announcing that the award, which recognizes his contribution as a literary critic, literary activist, and editor and author on topics of Caribbean literature, as well as honoring the year of his 90th birthday, would be presented to his family in Barbados at a ceremony match. Bocas founder and director Marina Salandi Brown said, "It now seems even more significant to honor him, and in this time of mourning, it's a small that news of the award brought both Professor Brathwaite pleasure in his final days." Honors and awards. 1970 Cholmondeley Award. 1983 Guggenheim Fellowship. 1983 Fulbright Fellowship. 1987 Order of Barbados. 1994 New Start International Prize for Literature. 1999 Charity Randall Citation Performance and Written Poetry from International Poetry Forum. 2002 Honorary Doctorate, University of Sussex. 2006 Griffin Poetry Prize International winner. 2006 Musgrave Medal for Literature from the Institute of Jamaica. 2007 President's Award at St. Martin's Book Fair. 2010 W.E. Du Bois Award. 2011 Casa de las Americas Premio. 2015 Robert Frost Medal from Poetry Society of America. 2016 elected Honorary Fellow of Pembroke College, Cambridge. 2018 Penn Volcker Award for Poetry. 2020 Bocas Henry Swansea Award for Distinguished Service to Caribbean Letters. Selected works: 4 plays for primary schools 1964, Odale's Choice 1967, Rites of Passage 1967, Masks 1968, Islands 1969, Folk Culture of the Slaves in Jamaica 1970, The Development of Creole Society in Jamaica 1770 to 1820, written in 1971, The Arrivals, A New World Trilogy, Rites of Passage, Islands, Mask 1973, Contradictory Omens, Cultural Diversity and Integration in the Caribbean 1974,